Hi. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. We're going to begin our session. Yes, so everyone, this is LiAnna Davis, and we are going to have this session about students in the Wikimedia ecosystem. Yes, please, you can begin. Okay, we can fix that. Yeah, please, you can begin.
Okay, let me share my screen here 1 second. All right, I will jump right in there. So, hello everyone. My name is LiAnna Davis, and I have been a Wikipedian for almost 15 years now. And I'm really excited to join you all today. Um, it's actually still Saturday night in my time zone. I am based in California in the United States, but I'm happy to be here to talk about students in the Wikimedia ecosystem. And in my day job, I am the Chief Programs Officer at Wiki Education, which is an organization that runs education program in the United States and Canada. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And I'm also the chair of the Wikipedia and Education User Group, which is a global collaborative of education program leaders worldwide. And now that you're on to day 2 of your training, some of this might be a little bit repeated, but I think it's helpful framing to hear and see the importance of Wikipedia from the perspective that I'm bringing you today as a student, from the perspective of students. So I think first off, the most important thing to think about Wikipedia is that it's an encyclopedia. And what does that actually mean? So when I was in school, it meant books like these that were all lined up in a row in a library, and you had to get the volume that had your topic alphabetically. And it had a short overview of the topic so you could get a general idea about the person, place, or thing that you were looking up. And Wikipedia takes this and it makes it even better with detailed searchable footnotes to more information that could ever be found in a traditional print encyclopedia. And if Wikipedia were actually printed like an encyclopedia, not including images or references, and this is the English Wikipedia, it would take more than 3,500 volumes or more than 18 stacks at a library. And there are 341 different language versions of Wikipedia, and English Wikipedia is the largest, most read, and most well known of these. But I think it's helpful to look at this in context. So the number of articles of English Wikipedia is nearly 7 million. And you can see other language Wikipedias that have a lot of different articles in them. But it's helpful context for the last print edition of Encyclopedia Britannica, which had only 40,000 articles. So already Wikipedia has far eclipsed the amount of knowledge that was contained in the last print edition of an encyclopedia. But just because we have so much information on Wikipedia doesn't mean that Wikipedia contains all of the information in the world. There is still so much more to be contributed, and there's so much more work to be done on all language Wikipedias. And Wikipedia receives about 1.5 billion monthly views from unique devices. So this is a phone or a laptop. And so what this means is that Wikipedia is where the world goes when they want to find out information. So just who writes Wikipedia? So hopefully you all, but there's about 80,000 people worldwide, and we call ourselves Wikipedians, and we are all volunteers. Nobody gets paid to write or edit articles. And one of the original, a bunch of the original editors who helped Wikipedia make Wikipedia what it is today were students when they started editing Wikipedia. Students have always been the fuel of Wikipedia. And of course, many of Wikipedia's readers are also students. And so the Wikipedia and Education program tries to combine these two by directly encouraging students to become editors. So let me talk a little bit more about Wikipedia and education. So my organization is called Wiki Education, and we are a small nonprofit organization based in California in the United States. And we're part of a global community of organized groups who support education programs worldwide. So we run two different programs. One is our Wiki Scholars and Scientists program, where we run courses to train people to edit Wikipedia and Wikidata, the open link data counterpart to Wikipedia. And then our second program is called the Wikipedia Student Program, which is where we support college and university students in the United States and Canada who edit. And we're here today to talk about this particular program. So I want to also say that we are not the only ones to run this program. So Wikipedian education is a phenomenon that happens worldwide. So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures from the most recent editions of the education newsletter, which showcases work that's being done all over the world. So this one is in Albania. This is in I can't see actually the slide here because there we go, in Bolivia. This one is in Brazil. This one is in Indonesia. This one is in Iran. This one is in South Sudan. This one is in Ukraine. And so I show all of these pictures to just give you the idea that if you contribute to Wikipedia as a student, you are not the only one in the world who's doing this. You are part of a global community of different students worldwide who are engaging in the open educational practice of editing Wikipedia as part of your educational endeavors. And in each country's program, it works a little bit differently. But in the United States and Canada, ours works like this. So the basic idea is that students write Wikipedia articles on course-related topics instead of a traditional research paper. So this can either replace an entire research assignment, or it can serve as the literature review section of a longer paper that also includes original research and analysis. And in this current term that we're in right now, Wiki Education is supporting more than 350 classes across the United States and Canada, and we have about 6,000 students who are editing Wikipedia as part of their coursework. And there's two terms in the United States and Canada each year, so this about double this is the amount of people we are supporting each year. And why do we do this? So there's a bunch of different reasons. And one of the reasons that we do this is we're able to bring new voices to Wikipedia. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard about Wikipedia's gender gap. So about 20% of the editors in North America are women. I am unique in that regard. Most of the editors are men. But in our programs, about 68% of the students who are editing through our programs at Wiki Education identify as women. And so this is a really important way that we can address Wikipedia's gender gap. We can also improve knowledge about a variety of topics. So this is a screenshot of a brand new article that was written by one of our students last term, the article on Chinese online literature, which is a content gap that previously existed on Wikipedia. So as you may know, Wikipedia is banned in China. It is not allowed behind the Great Firewall. And so as a result, information about things like Chinese online literature are definitely underdeveloped on Wikipedia. And so this was an opportunity for our students who are studying this topic area to find information on peer-reviewed books and journal articles and publish a really detailed information. And so the screenshot that you can see on the right there is what the actual article looks like today. And on the left is just the overview so that you can see what it looks like there. But students also really get engaged in writing for Wikipedia. So in a traditional assignment, your audience for each student is one person, which is the instructor of that particular course. But for a Wikipedia assignment, the audience for each student is the world. And think about the impact that your contributions to Wikipedia can make. So one of our professors is Dr. Peter Barker at the University of Oklahoma. He teaches in the history of science, and he told us more people have read the student output from this course than can have possibly read my own 40 years of writing. So he is an incredibly well-published, well-known author in his field, and has published extensively in books and journals. And he recognizes that the work that his students are doing on Wikipedia as part of his class and our program is going to get more people to read it than any of the books or journal articles that he has published as part of this. So the power that you really have in being able to shape what people know about a topic area is huge. And we've seen this as well backed up by some peer-reviewed literature. So let me talk about a couple of studies that were done by Dr. Neil Thompson at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology here in the United States. And so Dr. Thompson ran one study about chemistry. And so what he did is he had chemistry PhD students identify topics. They looked through their chemistry textbooks and they identified topics that were missing on the English Wikipedia, and they identified 43 topics. He had the students write Wikipedia articles, chemistry PhD students write those 43 missing chemistry articles. And then he held half back as a control sample and he published the other half on Wikipedia. And then what he did is he looked for articles that were published in chemistry journals about those 43 topics after he had the students work on those articles, right? So there's the half of them that are the control group and the half of them that he had published on Wikipedia. And what he found was that the words that were used in published journal articles in chemistry were significantly more similar to the articles that were published on Wikipedia versus the control group that he held back. And then additionally, what he found was that sources that were cited in the Wikipedia articles had a 91% boost in citations after the Wikipedia article. So his conclusion from this study is that science was actually shaped by Wikipedia. And so he didn't just stop with this with science. He went and engaged with law students in Ireland and repeated it with Irish Supreme Court cases. And he did the same thing. He identified Irish Supreme Court cases that did not have Wikipedia articles. He had law students in Ireland write the articles. He published half of them, held half of them back, and then looked at Irish Supreme Court rulings that happened after those Wikipedia articles were published. And what he found was that Irish Supreme Court cases where they had published the Wikipedia article received a 21% increase in citations as precedent to that. And as well, the rulings that the judges issued used language more similar to the Wikipedia article when they were citing that case. And so Wikipedia, in fact, affected the framing and the ascribed meaning of cited cases. And so what this means is that Wikipedia has the power to shape how our society understands law, how our society understands science. And while Dr. Thompson has not actually repeated this study with other topic areas, given he's already done it with science and law, we're quite certain that the impacts are also felt in other topic areas as well. So the important part of this is Wikipedia is hugely influential in how people understand and use the knowledge that they have every day. And then it's important to write Wikipedia because you as a student gain all kinds of learning outcomes. It's the key 21st century outcomes that you can reference on your CV or talk about in a job interview. So what do those look like and why are those important? Well, I'm going to go a little bit into something that is a little bit US centric, although I'm sure it is true in India as well. So several years ago, the Stanford History Education Group at Stanford University here in California produced a really grim study that measured the media literacy skills of middle school, high school, and college age students in the United States. So this is secondary students and higher education students. And the results that they found from this were students were unable to tell real news from fake. They were unable to evaluate what an appropriate source was and what wasn't an appropriate source. And they tended to just simply believe what they read online. And this study summarized it by saying, overall, young people's ability to reason about the information on the internet can be summed up in one word: bleak. And I think this is a really key point when we talk about students and media literacy and the internet. And I'll tie this back to Wikipedia, so bear with me for a minute here. So when students download a new app on their smartphones and they intuitively and immediately grasp how to use it, and people of my generation might struggle a little bit with that, we can feel like they are the digital natives who just understand everything about technology. But that's not actually digital literacy, that's just being digitally savvy. And as the Stanford study shows, we are not teaching our kids to be digitally literate, and that digitally literate evaluators of information is one of those key 21st century skills. And so that's one of the major benefits of engaging with Wikipedia as a student population. So, as everyone on the internet has been struggling to deal with how to solve the problem of fake news, of misinformation, of disinformation, the many of them have been turning to Wikipedia for answers because Wikipedia has been dealing with this for the 20 years of its existence. Wikipedia has strict policies and guidelines around what can and can't be used as a source. And when students learn how to edit Wikipedia as a class assignment, we teach them how to use Wikipedia source evaluation guidelines. And in other words, we are teaching students to be digitally literate. And so editing Wikipedia gives students those digital literacy skills, which, don't just take my word for it, this is something we've seen backed up in Wiki Education surveys. So a student survey that we did about this topic asked what skills they gained as part of writing Wikipedia, and 95% of them identified media literacy as something that they gained from writing on Wikipedia. You can also see it in an exercise that we did with them. So we asked the students to identify 3 adjectives to describe Wikipedia before they started their assignment. And then after they had completed their assignment of writing a Wikipedia article, we asked them to identify 3 adjectives that they would use to describe Wikipedia. And so pre-assignment, we found that unreliable was the dominant word that came out as important, as an adjective that they would use to describe Wikipedia. Also useful were informative, helpful, interesting, useful. And then what you really see as interesting is in the post-assignment request. It was the same prompt to use 3 adjectives to describe Wikipedia. The unreliable had flipped immediately to reliable. And you still see informative pretty large there. You see interesting coming up, you see useful, but you also see collaborative. And so this is really showing that by editing Wikipedia, students are learning how to use Wikipedia effectively. And so, what can you as a student do to get involved? So, I'm going to give you a few suggestions here. I know you all are at a training right now, and so this is hopefully in supplement and adds on to the work that you are already doing in the last 2 days here, or today and tomorrow, yesterday and today. So the first thing I would just really encourage you to do is join Wikipedia. So identify a content gap on Wikipedia and start filling it. Think about something that you already know. Think about research you've already done. Think about books or journal articles that you already have access to. You need to make sure your contributions are fact-based, and make sure it's in your own words. So ideally not something that ChatGPT generated, although if you need to use ChatGPT to polish your language, that's generally okay. But make sure that it hasn't introduced any errors. So everything you're adding to Wikipedia is coming under your username, and you are attesting that you believe it is factually accurate. And so you need to make sure that the information you're putting on can be backed up to in a citation to a book, a peer-reviewed journal article, a newspaper article. Don't just trust what ChatGPT gives you. Those often citations are things that they have made up as well. So you need to make sure that book actually exists, and you need to make sure that it actually says what ChatGPT says it does. And make sure you're not adding your own research. So just add what you can cite to other sources. This is the critically important part of an encyclopedia and one of the core rules of Wikipedia. It's called the no original research policy. But there's other ways, if you're not really into writing as much, there's other ways that you can contribute to Wikipedia. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. So these are from students in our program as well. So this is a diagram that one of our students created about rhizodeposition, which is a scientific concept. And so visuals can be really, really important in helping people understand who don't want to read a lot of text. And especially in a lot of the scientific process articles, these diagrams can be incredibly effective and are really hard to find under an open license, which is what everything needs to be on Wikipedia. And so if you have the skills to create illustrations, to create visuals or infographics or other things like that to add diagrams to articles, that can be a really effective way of contributing information to Wikipedia. So I'd strongly recommend, if this is in your skill set, look for opportunities to do that. Another opportunity is to take photos. So this is a photo of a mineral that was in the University of Arizona's collection that students took a picture of and uploaded it to Wikimedia Commons, which is the image repository for Wikipedia, and then they added it to this Wikipedia article. And I understand from the agenda that you had that you guys did a photo walk yesterday. So hopefully that sparked your interest. But think, for those of you who are at universities, think about the things that are in your university's collections that you may have access to that the general public doesn't have access to, that you could take pictures of and add to Wikipedia, like these University of Arizona students did for this image repository. And then finally, I'll talk briefly about translating articles. So if you speak multiple languages, this can be a really effective way of making contributions to Wikipedia. So this is an example of a biography that was on the Spanish Wikipedia but didn't exist on English Wikipedia until one of our students translated it. So you can identify high quality articles in a language that you speak and consider translating them into another language Wikipedia. And this can be incredibly helpful if there's high quality detailed information on one language that's missing on another. So think about that. There's a translation tool that can help you translate between different language Wikipedias, and make sure you're also bringing over the sources. That's the most important part. But whichever way you choose to do, I hope you will really get involved in Wikipedia. And I hope the event that you are at today is helping you become a committed Wikipedian like I am, and that I really hope that you all will join our community and become established Wikipedians. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Well, thank you so much, LiAnna. That's a great presentation. I think everyone listened really carefully, and it's going to take good learning from this presentation. Thank you. And if we have some questions, yes. I want to mention that we have educators and university students and research scholars or aspiring research scholars here.
Excellent.
And I think this is going to be really helpful for them. And this is what they all are. Most of the people are confused about, as you said, how to get involved. And I think after this session, everyone knows how to get involved.
Great.
Thank you again.
Please do get involved. It's very important to have your voice on Wikipedia.
Yes, does anyone have questions? I think there are no questions.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your training.
Okay,
and
sorry,
oh,
there's
one
a question.
Go ahead.
You can come here.
Hello. Hey, LiAnna.
Hello. Yes.
Hi. Thank you so much for that lovely presentation. A question I had was around the no original research policy.
Yes.
If you could explain that a little bit more, as opposed to, so for someone who is a researcher, like if I have published research already out there, and if I cite my own research into a Wikipedia article, I'm assuming that's not quite proper, but if you could maybe elaborate on the differences a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is one of the trickiest areas for academics to contribute to Wikipedia. So No, the no original research policy is designed for you to not be able to write anything on Wikipedia that is not published in another source. So this is all around kind of making sure that information on Wikipedia is verifiable and that someone else is able to sort of follow that track back, right? So if you're saying something is a particular way, you need to be able to have a citation to something that says that. You can't just say, oh, I know that to be true, and so I'm putting it on there. Now, if it is research that you yourself have done and you yourself have published, that doesn't fit into the no original research policy because there is published research on it. Unfortunately, though, it fits into the conflict of interest policy, which is where you're not supposed to cite your own work. So if you have a colleague in the field who has also published on that topic, it's better if you cite your colleague's work. Or if you know someone who can work on it, you can have them sort of cite your own research, but it's harder, and I would try to avoid citing your own research if it's at all possible because of sort of the conflict of interest rules.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome, but I encourage you to contribute in other areas that you have expertise in as well. So think about things you cited in the literature review section of your paper, that about others' published work that you might be able to include on Wikipedia.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we're done with the questions. We don't have any more questions. Thanks again.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of your training, and I hope to see you all editing on Wikipedia very soon.
Okay then, bye.
Okay, bye.